frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows. For you who are trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable.
And good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the KOTE Show. And I have remembered to unmute us.
Yay!
This could be the third time ever. So yeah, sorry, 1 second.
Chris is just trying to finish his last stuff whilst also looking for his Dark Tidings decks.
Yeah, I got it here. So it's just for a few of those Americans or people who don't have it yet. This is one of my 2 boxes. Mine. I have opened so far.
This is my 2 boxes. Ah, yes.
Yes, but I've only opened 3 out of this box.
Yeah, well, you didn't have a electrician with around, so I had no power for 2 hours. So all I did was open my Dark Tidings decks.
Okay, man. Shall I open one of my decks now just to see if it makes you jealous or not? For luck.
You can try and make me jealous, but I've got some nasty decks.
I've got some fun decks.
If anyone has Feckless left name, I've got your evil twin right here.
She that
I love
Go ahead.
His Feckless left name.
She that pays the town square.
Nice.
It's Saurian Logos Sanctum, Epic Quest,
Ooh, Epic Quest.
Staunch Knight, 2 Sub-Evas, Lawyer of the Lake, Irene the Circumspect, yeah. And there's some dinosaurs. I don't know the dinosaurs well enough yet.
Where's the best name I had? That I found really funny.
Oh, mine's The Quiet Place, I think. I think it was The Quiet Place.
You're gonna get sued!
Was it not The Quiet Place? What was it? Anyway, we're not just trying to rub it in here.
Called the shadow that is known as Zippy. Any Magic Circle, any Magic Roundabout fans here will love that deck.
So, my favourite name is Quiet Patch, not Quiet Place. I'm going to chuck it in the Twitch chat, just in case anyone wants to have a look at it. But that's my current favourite deck for playing. I've won 1, lost 1. And I will hopefully play it again soon. Or maybe lost 2. I know I won 1, because I was happy. It was weird. But yeah, do
you actually play the Trojan Sauropod, or did you just discard it?
I played it both times to see if it hindered me or helped me, and it didn't do either.
It sits there.
It just sits there. But I just really enjoy the deck.
My favourite deck to play at the minute is a double portal, double together Val Jericho deck.
Ooh.
Just be able to go Val Jericho, play this card together, play this card, play this card. Hey, look, I got the cards in my hand.
Unsettled Barrister Waden. Sanctum Saurian Untamed. Man, that's a triple persistent hunting with the Key Frog.
That's not too bad.
So, yeah, youngest bear, Primal Relic.
I got a lot more Mavericks and Legacies than I was expecting, especially at 2 boxes, but maybe just got lucky.
I got 2 Legacies, no Mavericks so far.
Oh.
And this one...
Anyway, let's get on with what we're actually here for.
Well, I thought we were just here to open decks. We're actually... Okay. Fine. Let's continue with the streams. So yeah, thanks guys. Sorry we're starting a little bit late today. Dog issues, who decided to have an issue just before we were about to start on the stream. I really like Omnipus. Yeah. Thank you, Ultimo.
I like what Omnipus was doing to TCO and just completely destroying it for a couple of days.
Yeah. So we got the usual show today. For those of you who haven't seen us before, we're going to have the usual go through some news and events information. We're going to talk about both the 2 new KOTE events coming up. We're talking about some metrics from the last round of KOTE, which again I haven't read, and I will try very hard not to do well in the quiz.
I've not read them either. I went straight to the quiz.
Cool. And then we have our feature game, and our feature game this week, Brett, is B20B and New York City.
Yep.
And then we'll go on to the pairings if you haven't already looked up online, because they're pretty much already there.
Yeah, because everything is now sort of in place where people know who they're going to be going up against.
Yep. So thank you for our diehard fans, all three of you, watching us even though there's no new information coming out. There is 3, according to me. This is a particularly slow week. Right, so let's jump straight into the news here. So the first thing we're going to talk about in the news is the Keyforge Adventures. So for those of you who aren't aware, the Keyforge Adventures are coming out this Friday via Print and Play. And the Keyforge Adventures are, the aim is that you will have some co-op, or I wanted to say solo, but no one else agrees with me that it's going to work. And be able to play a co-op game against some big bads, similar to how things like Arkham Horror work. And I say similar here very loosely. But the idea you can bring a Keyforge deck and play against a series of location encounters until you find the big bad to go and kill him. We don't have a lot of information, but they are being released this Friday, and I intend to be trying it the weekend.
There's already been a game played live from our 5 players over in the AP areas.
Oh wow!
They got it early and they streamed it, but unless you speak the language, you're not really going to know what's going on.
I'm failing to open this with my teeth. I'm actually finding scissors.
So basically, we found out that it should be this Friday that Keyforge Adventures gets released. It's a free at-home print to play, and to knock one thing off our list, AFK will be running a come along and play event via webcam or TTS Tabletop Simulator over this weekend as well.
Yep, starting Friday night. So if you are a French speaker or like to get involved anyway, go to the AFK, will be running it this Friday, go to their Discord, and we'll find out more information. But I'm really excited by this, because this is the sort of thing I like to see is deviations, not big tangents, small deviations, just keep the blood flowing, as it were.
If once we know how it works and how it's meant to be played, I'd like to try and get like an admin game going on webcams and get that streamed and see if we can do something like that.
You do realise that our admin are in about 17 different time zones between the 6 of us.
Yeah, but it can just be me, you, and then we invite people to come along. Or it can be me and you commentating as other people play.
Hey man, as long as it's me, you, Marcel, Karen, and Rick, I'm happy. I mean, that covers Vancouver, that covers East Coast, and it covers Indonesia. So
I'm excited to keep Kirakan, but I'm more interested to see what else is going to come out of this, because there can be some big boys hiding in the dark.
Oh, hell yeah. There always are. Still not got an evil twin deck. That's opened 6 decks.
I have 2.
I hate you, though.
I opened 2 of them in the same display.
I don't think I'm going to get one, because that's how my life goes. The Nuclear Powered Facility Editor. Which is Hastius Raptor?
Hastius Raptor sounds familiar.
Why do I have 4 of them?
Oh, yeah, that's the new Plaguerats.
Oh, okay.
When it fights, before fight, deal damage to an enemy creature for amber on each of those creatures. So if you've got, say, 10 amber across the 4 creatures, you can deal 10 damage to the creature.
Cool. You'll take all the rest. I'm sure you will, Tony. I'm sure you will. What do we have here? We have Sistana Nefas. Logos. I get a lot of logos, so I am happy with that. Oh,
Logos is quite powerful in this set, and it's one of the only sets that manipulates the tide from the games I've played. Pretty much every house wants to have the high tide and wants to have it in that aspect. Logos is the only one that goes, yeah, cool. I'll happily give my opponent the high tide, because then I have all my effects to bring it back a bit. There's a good way of manipulating it against the older sets, because I've seen in a lot of my games, when I've got Espions, when I've got the Sanctum card that captures when the tide changes, against the older sets, they're very reluctant to change the sets. They're very reluctant to change the tide, so having the ability to flip around. Mr. Kong, Flynn will be playing as soon as he's able to. At the minute, he's currently focused on Pokemon but he already has his first deck waiting for him.
Flynn the Adorable.
Yep. My ring light's kind of in the way. I got this off Kiwi. Flynn the Adorable. I absolutely love that name. I've been watching it for about a year now, and then I finally got around to asking him how much he wanted for it. And once he's old enough to understand how to play it, Flynn the Adorable will get Flynn the Adorable.
Oh, okay.
Oop,
Right, cool. Sorry. Oops, sorry.
You're showing your message to Jupiter here.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Unfortunately, Jupiter pinged me, so that I can't read what it says. So if you want to ping him. But anyway, I don't have any evil twins in that box, so I'm now very sad. But anyway, move on next. So we have 2 code events coming up, and we'll try and be a bit more focused here for a few seconds. We have KOTE 9, which is our premier event that we are running. Well, I say premier event. This is the main focus, and we are running an event KOTE 8.5. I say we. Brett is taking the heavy lifting for that.
Yes, it's only going to be a 2-day event over 2 weeks, so it's going to be a bit hard for everybody to play. But we want this. It's a kind of like a test pool for us to run formats that we think would be good for KOTE, but we realise are probably better in a short burst rather than a long.
The way I look at it is formats that we want to validate before we commit to for several weeks.
Yeah, with KOTE 7, with the 5-deck survival thing, we got a bit, I don't want to say backlash, but we got a lot of feedback that basically it was a fun format, but it needed to be streamlined. It needed other restrictions like SAS caps or house caps for it to be fully fun. So this is a good way for us to try formats and then get the feedback to see how they should be improved before we make full KOTE events on them.
Yeah. So do you want to quickly sum up? Let's play the KOTE 8.5 video. I've got that to hand, queued up.
Yeah,
so I don't have the 9, unfortunately, but we will. And so that's KOTE 8.5. That's coming out in, I've already forgot the dates. May the 17th. No, wait, add a bit on. May the 20th and May the 27th.
You're gonna make me wait for this now. 15th and 22nd.
Close. So May the 15th and May the 22nd.
May the 15th will be the Swiss. 22nd will be Top Cut, and it's Team Archon Auction, which means every round, your decks and your opponent's decks put into the pot. You bid chains, and then the person that wins the highest amount of chains gets to take the first deck, and then you repeat the process until all the decks are gone. So if there's 6 players, all 6 players bid. The person that wins gets to pick a deck.
Yes.
Does that mean No, all games are played at once, Mr. Kong. So this is completely different than an unusual KOTE event. 1 hour round limits. Coaching is encouraged. Team communication is encouraged. At the start of the round, there will be voice channels and text channels open for your table that you can just jump into, and you'll look at the decks and you'll start bidding. And then once the bids are done, all 3 games will be done in one go.
But I think his question is, if we're having all the games in one day and we have 3 rounds, then yes, it's a 3-hour period.
Yeah, if there's 3 rounds, then it'll be a 3-hour period. But yeah, essentially your entire teams will need to be there for the Swiss and for the Top Cut if you make it. All 6 players will need to participate in the bidding, and we think it's just gonna be a really fun way to do this, because just because you bring a deck, doesn't mean you have any idea, and you also need to coordinate with your team as to what the limits are going to be on what you're going to bid for decks, whilst also adapting to how the situation goes. And it's going to be utter chaos, because you need to get your team to know you're basically under control. So I think there's going to be a lot of voice chats as well as text chats, and it's going to be a lot of communication. I imagine everyone's going to be incredibly drained, but
I'll give it a try.
the biggest thing is that you're not bidding on the decks, you're bidding for the right to choose. So even if every player bids, and then you get to choose from the remaining decks which one you're going to play that round, and that's what I think makes it better than the usual auction, because rather than bidding on a deck, you're bidding on the right to choose from the 6 decks, which means that I think the chains are going to go a lot higher than in a regular auction.
And just because this is KOTE 8.5, this is not KOTE 9, and this is just a way for us to get we're not expecting the same 1,000 people turn out. We're expecting maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams, 10 teams.
This is literally just a 2-week event for us to look at how coaching would impact KOTE, and it's a fun format that we might do in a future KOTE, but we want to see
if it works.
We want to see how players handle it, because it's a lot of communication between teams, which we haven't really done before, and we need to find where the improvements lie before we put it into a KOTE event.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump now on to KOTE 9. KOTE 9 is, I don't have a video queued up, but I will have it queued up next year after my reinstall. KOTE 9 is our next main event. It is starting in the 29th of May. 25th of May.
Yep, Mari, the Swindle-based event, the format created by Karen. Each player brings 1 deck. That is their deck throughout the entirety of the event. We're bringing this in. Matchups will be Cap versus Cap, Red versus Red, Blue versus Blue. That's
works.
Yeah, I did put that in the video, Mr. Kong. But yeah. So basically, the decks will be randomized, but the matchups will remain the same. So captain versus captain. So if the other team's captain selects their deck first, you might then want to get the bids up to get a deck from the 5 remaining, which counters the deck they just picked. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of mind games in KOTE 8.5. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sure. And moving back on to KOTE 9, yes, that will also be the same. Captain versus Cap, Red versus Red, Blue versus Blue.
But
one deck an event. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So for the last couple of events, we've had a lot of change in decks, so people having to have multiple decks. So it's 1 deck for the entirety of the event for KOTE 9, but the format you play may change, which is why bringing your best deck might not be the best way to go, because at the start, during the previous round, the team will look at your decks, look at who they're playing, so you'll know the next week's matchup before it comes out, apart from week 1. And you'll then be able to select which decks are going to play Archon, which decks are going to play Short Adaptive, and which decks are going to play Reversal. And then that will be your matchup the next week. So it won't be Cap versus Cap, Red versus Red, Blue versus Blue. In KOTE 9, it'll be Reversal versus Reversal, Archon versus Archon, and Short Adaptive versus Short Adaptive.
Yes. That's what I meant to say.
This is going to require a lot of work from us to make sure the correct pairings and everything is done right. But now we're on round robin, as opposed to Swiss. It's going to be a lot easier until we get to qualifiers and top cut.
Yeah. How does the bidding work exactly for KOTE 8.5 since 6 players are bidding for an order?
So the order that the players will be bidding will be randomized by us at the beginning of each round. That's so basically. Whereas in a usual auction, the deck order that you'll be bidding on would be randomized. In this situation, the player order will be randomized, and the first person in the list of the randomized will start with a bid of 0 and go from there. But that order will change each round to keep it fair and so that people don't try to meta game with going on there. Does that make sense?
I think it does. Right, let's move on to ABR just because we're going to run out of time otherwise. You've got the APR update, I believe?
Please do jump into the KOTE 8.5 on the Discord and ask any other follow-up questions. I'm happy to talk about this. But yes, ABR, so we've got... ABR, I hope I've got... Oh, I don't have a link for ABR. So yes, the Ancient Bear Republic Keyforge League, they're taking submissions for their Season 5. They've just got their sleeves in from Dragon Shield, and I can attest to how good the Dragon Shield, the quality of Dragon Shields are with these custom prints. I absolutely love them. But also, winners will also get a customized playmat with their username, and the team, and the ABR Keyforge League Season 5. It's the same draft system, so when you sign up, you'll be in a communal pool, and the captains of each team will select who they want in their team. Floating formats, floating decks. It's a really fun competitive event, and it's probably one of the best events out there for being in Keyforge. ABR put a lot of hard work into this. They put a lot of effort into their prizes, and Flaming Hobo and the guys do a lot of work, and I can't support them further than I would do, apart from if I actually played. But
yeah,
it's American timing, and I'm lazy.
Well, and you have a family and a life, so it's the challenge we have.
Family, yes. Life. Okay,
you have a family as a life.
that works.
And evening, Red Panda. Welcome to the stream. So,
hello.
We're quickly going to cover AFK again. AFK, as we said, they're not doing a Thursday event this week. They're doing a Friday event where they're doing some TTS Tabletop Simulator for Keyforge Adventures. They'll be going through that stream live to show you. I'm sure there'll be other people streaming it as well. But that's their plan for this week instead of doing the usual Thursday event.
It's going to be streamed, because I did ask, but it didn't say.
This week on Friday we have the usual tournament. However, Friday we will set up a Keyforge Adventures special evening. Yes, players can come along. It's not streamed. My mistake. They are just using it and playing together on Tabletop Simulator.
So yeah, players can come along in pairs on Discord to try and take on the Keyraken. It'll be done using Tabletop Simulator or webcam.
Yeah.
If you speak French, do come along. If you don't, you can probably catch up what's going on. I imagine they're not going to be the only people that will be taking advantage of the events. And I imagine that this coming Sunday, if Carl, Patrick, and Torval are all free, we might have a Keyfrogs taking on the Keyraken stream.
And maybe Brett and you and I should put an evening aside so we can do it on stream.
Yeah,
As a one-off.
We did that earlier. I would like to try and take on the Keyraken myself.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Reminiscent of the Pharos Game Day Magic the Gathering events, where you had to take on the Minotaur, where you had to take on other things like that. And I had a lot of fun doing that. So I'm really excited to do it. I love PvE stuff.
I prefer it. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of co-ops, but I like PvEs.
I started playing Duel Links, and whenever my dailies have to have me take on an actual player, it's like, I just want to go against the computer. Just let me play against the computer.
I must try Duel Links again. I never got into it, but I'll give it another shot. Anyway, finally, our last item on the news, second to last, is the Final Swindle.
Woo!
Do you want to go with that? While I quickly get...
So, the Final Swindle is back with the big one, Chapter 2. There'll be approximately 6 Swiss rounds. Again, it's to benefit Doctors Without Borders. Registrations, it's a Dark Tidings. It's a Dark Tidings tournament. You can only use Dark Tidings. No other restrictions. It is just a Dark Tidings event. Prize breakdown: 50% of all the the donations will go to Doctors Without Borders, and the other 50% will be divided between the top 3 placements. It's a $10 USD donation to be started with, and once again, Mortivus and Zach Armstrong will be streaming it on Mortivus's channel.
Awesome.
It's a very good event for a very good cause, organised by Karen. Do suggest checking it out. And the other thing is that coming up this Sunday, they have a best of 1 adaptive challenge. So they've got the Swindle have got a best of 1 adaptive, which is going to be great practice for people for the Mori event coming up. So I definitely would recommend checking it out as well.
Cool. And Brett, I'm just having a crazy idea here, man. I haven't. So you can feel free to say no to this. Shall we offer to help Karen stream some of the events from the Big Swindle? Do you reckon they'll be up for more streamers?
If Karen's up for it, it depends if Mortivus and Zach don't want people stepping on their toes.
Yep. We'll ask the question, put the offer out there if we can make it fit with our schedules, because I'm keen to let's get as many events streamed as possible, just because we want to show it all. And finally, so go ahead.
Interfere with my recordings or editing.
We'll see what we can do. And we're going to move on to the last piece of news that Brett isn't aware of, because I have told him about this. He's aware of it, but it's not in the news list. Is Dismiss the Disc, KFPL's monthly event. Of course you do. I just suddenly occurs to me we should probably talk about it. Each player brings 2 decks, no decks over 90. Who has many SAS 90 decks?
A lot of people now, after the midweek SAS updates.
That's
and
true.
The adding of efficiency bonuses onto SAS. The average of SAS has actually gone up quite a bit, which I thought might affect the remaining KOTE games, but it hasn't to the same extent. But there's a few decks that were mid-80s that jumped into the 90s. My best deck hasn't moved in months, and now I have other decks. I have a mass mutation deck that's gone to 83, and I look at it and I'm like, you're not an 83. Please, just someone buy this off me for a disgusting amount for this 83 monstrosity, so I can get back to having my best deck be my highest rated.
I now have a SAS 81 AOA deck.
Ooh, my highest used to be 82, but now it's 83. But Cataran Freewheeler, which I brought to the charity event that Giovanna did, started off as a 70 when Mass Mutation came out, has now climbed to 77. I'm watching this deck just slowly climb the SAS ratings, and I'm loving it.
Ultimo, don't worry, my highest SAS deck's 82 as well. All 3 of my highest SAS decks. But this time, like 2 months ago, I had 1 over 80, so we'll see what comes up. But yeah, anyway, this will be good. $10 entry fee, 24th of April, best of 1. Do you have the price breakdown? $75 luxury playstyle random raffle. Do you have any of the price breakdown, or is that dependent on the entries?
I don't. I know it's usually 80% goes out in prizes, in between the top 8, and 20% goes towards KPL Season 3.
Yep. Okay. So that's what we have for the news today. We're going to now sideline onto the metrics. So if I press the right buttons in the right order, Brett will tell me... Where the fuck is that window? Sorry. Where the hell has that window gone? There we go.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Yeah, like you can clean a window, man. Like...
I can clean Windows 97.
Anyway, moving on. Brett, just checking. Is my screen shared?
No, he's still on dismiss the disc.
How's that?
I will, yes.